Now, once you're done with filming, obviously there's two different scenarios. One scenario is you're handing it off to another editor, whether they be on site or remote, or you're handling it yourself. So I first want to hit on the idea of you're handing it off.
Okay.
So you come back with your SD cards, you're offloading footage. What are you providing that editor? Is it a file structure? Is it a, like a Word document? Hey, here's what happened. What are you providing that person in order to ensure that quick turnaround time?
So if I'm handing it off to an editor, one, I probably would never bring an editor I've never worked with before. Okay. So there's got to be some sort of working relationship there already. They got to kind of understand how I shoot, what I shoot. And we've already probably had a pre-production call and they kind of know what we're expecting. So with that though, I would send off essentially a brief that is just a list of the deliverables. So let's say it's an LSKD reel and you shot a bunch of different LSKD athletes. That's one deliverable. So, hey, I need a reel centered on these athletes. The focus point should be on the branding of all the LSKD merch that they're wearing. And then it should still progress like a normal story. We should have a little build up, action, and we should have a happy conclusion of some kind. A team crossing the finish line, or somebody winning an event, something that speaks to the pedigree of the brand that you're representing. Okay, and then let's say I have some athletes then that I need to do like individual event reels.
Sure.
So then it would be, okay, cool. Now here's I'd probably screenshot the athlete heads and be like, hey, I need this person, okay, and I need these 4 events.
Yes.
And I need reels for these, and then I need this person, and I need these 4 events. And like the way I shoot, like the editor's not gonna not know who those people are.
Right.
Like I'm never gonna have their faces obscured or anything. Sure. So like you're gonna, well, I would in close-ups and stuff, but like that would be like a shot in the middle of 5 other shots with that athlete.
Yeah.
So and then I would have, the list of those deliverables. I'm usually not overly picky on music selection and things. I'd probably just give some general guidelines, and then they would be off to the races. I'd get them, essentially the brief, the footage, and a timeline.
Is there any type of labeling you're doing, like color coordination or throwing things in the folders or anything like that for them?
If I'm setting up the Premiere project, then I would probably color code or group things.
Okay.
Or sometimes what I'll do to help speed up things for my editor, because I have a few applications that I like to use to help sync things up. Let's say I was working with a second shooter, and maybe we had the benefit of a timecode sync.
Yeah.
I would then provide them with that file pre-timecode sync between our 2 cameras. Or let's say it was like event coverage where we didn't have a timecode system, but we did have like mics.
Yeah.
I have another app, Syncalia, great app, that will almost always sync up multiple cameras using the audio, the metadata, all this stuff. And then I'll provide them with a pre-synced sequence so that way, if we do have multiple cameras, they at least are getting everything in sync in one event.
Yeah.
And then they can go through and cut each event up into its own separate selects and things. But sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
It does depend on how fast I need the editor to move, and also, frankly, what the budget is, because project setup can take time.
Sure.
And so if I need to save a little bit of budget in the edit, I might take some of those initial steps for them, both to save budget and to save time, because I shot the footage.
Exactly.
I know where everything is. I can organize it really fast.
Exactly.
Whereas they're seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
When it comes to on-site editors, like let's say you're fortunate enough, first off, to be working with an on-site editor.
Typically not the case.
Very rarely does that happen.
Typically
Almost nobody has budget for that.
Yeah.
You mean it's you?
Yeah,
you are the on-site editor.
Chris is 100% right.
The budget is
the budget
me.
is you, and they need it. They need it.
Surprise!
10 minutes after the event. No, so if you're fortunate enough to be working with an on-site editor, what I would make sure that they're doing is watching whatever live broadcast is going on, if there is one.
Okay.
Or they're positioned somewhere in the arena where they can see the event.
Yeah.
So that, because I'm assuming we're working with people that are, familiar with the sport, but even if they're not, even if they're just a phenomenal editor and you brought them on for this project, like they should understand the flow of things.
Correct, yeah.
So having the live broadcast on or watching the event in whole, regardless of your footage, I think helps a lot.
Yeah.
And then making sure that they've got really disciplined DIT practices, so you're not accidentally dumping a card or formatting a card or anything like that. Get a little red electrical tape. Have a bucket. Have like one little SD card case that, like, if the card is in this case, it means it's not safe. Don't erase it. Like, make sure your media practices are good.